We have the types of the shipping contract or charter parties. We have voyage charter, we have time charter, we have bareboat charter or demise charter, we have contract of affreightment. Let's start an overview of voyage charter. It's a contract under which a vessel is to load at one or more named ports a particular specified cargo to be carried to a named discharging port or ports. So we have here the charterer is chartering the vessel to load his cargo from port A, for example, to discharge his cargo in port B or B and C. The ship owner will get in return his remuneration. We call it here freight. So the freight is paid per metric ton or per cubic meter for volume cargo, or as lump sum as agreed between the two parties, or as per world scale for tankers. We have something, we call it here dead freight. What is dead freight here? If the charterer cannot provide the agreed quantity of cargo, he will be expected to pay freight for that missing cargo to compensate the owner for loss of revenue resulting from the lack of cargo. For example, if the owner and the charterer agreed to load 10,000 tons, but the charterer only provided 7,000 tons, it means the charterer has to pay dead freight for the missing cargo as well. So this money or compensation is known as dead freight. We have different kind of forms of voyage charter. For dry cargo, we have GENCON form, which is a general contract, and it's for dry cargo, we call it multi-purpose voyage charter party. The most recent form of GENCON here is GENCON 2022, which is the most recent and recommended. For tanker charter party, we have many forms here. It depends on the oil company, but most common here we have Shellvoy 6 produced by Shell. We have BPVoy 5 and other types. Also, we have some other specialized forms here. It depends on the cargo itself, like for example, coal and grain and sugar. So we have different kind of forms. It depends on the cargo itself as well. The main features of voyage charter party, we have here the owner. The owner retains the operational control, so the owner has full control of the vessel and he's responsible for all the operating expenses here, like bunkering, portage charges, crewing, all kinds of operating expenses. The charterer is usually responsible for costs and charges related to the cargo, such as loading and discharging, or as agreed in the charter party. So each charter party is different as well. Usually he is responsible also for stevedores. What do I mean by lay can here? Sometimes the charterer and the owner, they agree and they fix the ship, for example, in January, but the execution and the arrival of the ship supposed to be in April, for example. So they have to agree on specific period of days. So this is what we call lay can. The ship must arrive in specific time of days or range or window of days. This is what we call lay can. The vessel is not able to arrive, so the charterer has the option to cancel acceptance of the vessel. What do you mean by lay time in voyage charter here? The charterer is given specific days or time to load and discharge his cargo. This is what we call lay time. Maybe it is only for loading and specific time for discharging, or combined as agreed in the charter party. Of course, this is discussed in more details in Voyage Charter Party course. Also, in Shellvoy, it is the same lay time, how it is spelled out in line 191 to line 196 for tanker charter party. We have something we call it demurrage and dispatch. The lay time, of course, is given to the charterer to load and discharge his cargo. For example, if he's given 5 days, for example, but the charterer loaded and discharged his cargo in 7 days. It means he has to pay penalty 2 days. This is what we call demurrage. So demurrage is a kind of penalty or compensation for the ship owner to be compensated for the delay. On the other hand, of course, if the charterer uses extra labor and extra stevedores and overtime, and he loads and he charges his cargo in less than the agreed time, for example, instead of 5 days, no, he loaded and discharged in only 3 days. It means he's entitled to dispatch or compensation or reward from the owner. Of course, this is only if agreed in the charter party. We have something important here. To start or trigger the relay time, we have some kind of conditions. The ship must be considered an arrived ship as agreed. Maybe it's port charter. Port charter, it means if the ship arrives only to the port limit and drops her anchor and waiting to enter, it means the ship is arrived as agreed in the contract. Or it could be also a berth charter if the ship arrived as the agreed destination or agreed point in the port. This is called arrived ship. Also, the ship has to be ready to load and discharge the agreed cargo to be arrived ship, and also to give notice of readiness as agreed. Also, we have something else, grace period. If any agreed grace period or grace time or free time is given, expired to start or trigger the relay time.